Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Sue here. Welcome to The Short Answer. I have just a couple of announcements I want to go over first before we dive into our topic this evening. But first, I just want to say I'm in one of the most amazing, most beautiful places you would ever hope to be. We are at the Healing Retreat in Evergreen, Colorado at Greystone at a beautiful, beautiful home retreat that has the most amazing grounds that you would ever hope to walk. And we've gotten how many inches of snow? 20 inches of snow since we got here, and it's absolutely fantastically beautiful. Our next healing retreat is going to be summer in August of 2021, so you might look into that because it's already filling up as we just announced it today. I'm sitting here with some amazing people who are attending the healing retreat in Evergreen with me right now. Here they are. See, they're here. And this is just a few of them. We brought them in, we closed the doors, and so we have this amazing select group of people that are getting to share our moment together here this evening. So welcome to Evergreen, and it's lovely to spend this moment with you. I want to make a couple of announcements about some things that are coming up that are very important that Morter Institute is doing. One is in something new that we're starting in February, in this month, at the end of the month, the 26th, is the first time I'm going to be doing something that I will be doing monthly, and it's something I've never done before online. And it is a healing transmission that isn't going to be a talking teaching. It's going to literally be dropping into a meditative state with you, walking you through some meditation space, and then opening up into some space of silence where a transmission will be happening for healing. So it's a healing transmission, and it is complimentary. There is no charge for this, and this is why I'm doing it. It is a time on our planet where humanity needs to unite, and I want to do my part. I certainly do everything I can by getting on a plane and flying to some part of the world every week to teach something, to share something, to build circuits with people, to teach them and show them how to unattach from the mind and begin to identify as the true, essential, soulful self. And there's another version of that work that transcends language, that transcends the talking mind and every amount of circuitry that we're so used to focusing on. And so I'm going to bring a healing transmission. It's an individual healing energy that we'll be working with, and then we'll move it into a group healing for everyone that is on this collective call around the world. We're going to be promoting this to everyone around the world that's been in contact with us through every avenue that I am connected with. And then, of course, we're going to unfold that into a global healing for humanity, to unify and to concentrate our efforts in love. In fact, love is going to be the topic for our short answer this evening, so I'm going to jump to a couple of more announcements, but I wanted to let you know about the healing transmission. There will be information coming out about how you will connect with that. You'll come in and sign up for it so that we can give you the codes to access in and create this beautiful healing environment around the world with you. So then there are also some things happening in March. One is we're doing the release of the paperback of the energy codes. It's coming out in March 17th. And at that time, yay, no kidding, super exciting about that. And we're also going to offer another facilitator training for those people that want to learn to teach from the book and hold workshops and hold book study clubs, etc. We're going to offer another training on that. But this time we're going to do it a little differently. Instead of coming to Los Angeles, this is going to be offered online. So there'll be modules where over a period of several weeks, we will together walk through how to teach the concepts in the book, the practices that I want to enhance, and you will then be receiving, as part of that program, videos that I've already created to make a study club easy for you, a study guide, all kinds of support materials where I initiate a conversation and then you can translate that into discussion for a discussion group. There are all kinds of support materials to make that super user-friendly for you. So that might be something that you're interested in. The book has now been translated into, I think, 13 languages and counting. And it's been an amazing, amazing experience for us at the Institute to see the various countries that are engaging in this work and how study groups are popping up everywhere. So just know that is made available for you again starting March 17th. That again, you can contact us and get more information about how to plug into that. Also, very big, in March on the 27th, the day after this healing transmission, the first one, we're starting another training for bioenergetic synchronization technique. Best technique, my father's work. I'm teaching it as my father generated it in its last rendition as he was still on the planet. I think there's something very valuable about preserving that and bringing all the details that he brought forth in his research. So I'll be sharing that as well. And then after that, in the fall, I'll be teaching Spiritual Best, which is an application of the energy codes infused into this natural, hands-on energy movement non-force technique. So it's an energy technique that allows you to clear subconscious interference that is unresolved for yourself and for other people. It's designed as a hands-on for other people, but it can certainly be used as a personal application, self-administered, for anyone who might be interested in understanding to a greater degree how their nervous system and electromagnetic energy systems work together for healing. So many other things that I'd like to mention, but I will just mention one more, and that is also happening in March 20th and the 21st and 22nd is an energy codes of manifesting and a level 1. So if you know someone that would like to plug into the work in a live event, we'll be doing that in March in Los Angeles, March 20, 21, and 22. So lots happening always. And for those of you that might also be aware, we are offering a level 2 online course that is starting right now. If you have never been to level 2 and you would like to engage in that content, I would encourage you to inquire with us about that, about how that can be accomplished. You can still join us in that program. So I'm going to set these notes aside and dig in with you on the short answer. So what I do the short answer for is the purpose of making sure that we can deliver in a small, quick way something that you can work with all the time. And whether you get to engage in the Energy Codes coursework or not, I know that as part of this community, that everything that I can deliver for you serves in its way. And so until you can get to the deeper coursework and have a deeper understanding about what we're doing, I always like to offer up these little morsels for you to work with in the meantime. So this conversation is about love, a short answer about love. And actually, I would say the answer, short or long, to anything that's going on in your life is love. That when you choose to love instead of to be right, or choose to love instead of worry, or choose to love instead of be angry, what happens is we start to open up some gateways that allow us to access truly our multidimensionality. And when we open up and access our multidimensionality, what that means is we're accessing the soulful self, we're accessing the fourth dimensional version of who we are, the fifth dimensional version of who we are. And you may have no idea what I mean when I say that, but just know it's part of your higher self. It's a next step upward for the higher self to drop into this human experience and have the life that you came here to have. So what we want to do is choose love. Now, I mentioned if you're willing to choose love instead of be angry, or choose love instead of be fearful, that solution would be on its way, that things would start to melt. Think of love this way. Love is a universal solvent, and anything that you are willing to include love in will be dissolved by love, okay? So when I say choose love instead of anger, I don't mean to suppress the anger or to push the anger away and instead just be loving. What I do mean instead of that is something quite different, something very focused on integration and unconditionality and allowing all things to serve. So this is what I mean. If you're feeling angry or you're feeling fearful, or maybe you don't even know what to name what you're feeling, but you're feeling out of sorts. You're just not feeling anchored and centered and relaxed and comfortable. And yet, you know that it would be smarter to be loving in this moment, but it's nowhere to be found. You can't even be accessing that. Until you do perhaps this. If you notice what you're feeling, even if you can't name it. There's just a feeling, there's an energy. Maybe you could call it anger, maybe you could call it fear, and maybe you're completely clueless on what to call it, but you're feeling some angsty thing anyway. Here's the invitation. Drop into your body as much as you possibly can. Take a big belly breath as slowly as you can. Because when you slow down your breath, you slow down your mind. And if you are experiencing one of these emotions that are reeling out of control, I promise you, your mind is operating faster than it would be ideally. When you can just start to slow it down, all that story writing and projecting and complication that comes with a rapid moving mind is going to slow down. And you'll be able to get a handle on this situation sooner than you think. So if you drop down into your body, just with your awareness, just bring your attention into your body and start slowly breathing in the belly. And notice what you're feeling and allow that feeling to be valid. That allowance is actually a loving action toward the fear or the anger or the unnameable angst that you're experiencing. Allowing it is a loving invitation. So by allowing it, a couple of things are taking place. By allowing the feeling to be valid, you're now not going to be consumed by it because you're giving it permission to exist. If you are giving it permission to exist, you are the master in the presence of it. It is now in the presence of you instead of you being reactive to this vibration. You have to remember this. Everything is energy and it's just energy. You are made of energy, and you are made of all of the energies that exist. And so, if you're giving validity to some energy that's rising in you that feels angsty or uncomfortable, the moment you give it permission to exist, there's a bond or a resonance in these two energy frequencies that is starting to take place. And as that coherence starts to occur, some spaciousness begins to happen. So if you could picture anger as this wave that is this very rapid moving, spiky kind of energy wave, and now you're noticing it, and you're breathing slowly with it, in the presence of it. What happens is that spiky short wave starts to round out and become longer and more spacious. As you embrace it, simply by giving it permission to exist, you're not walling it off, you're not compressing it, pushing it away, or denying it. You're allowing it to be a real thing. Now the mind wants to say, well, what's that about? What's causing my anger? I bet it's that, or I bet it's that, or I bet it's that, or maybe it's all of it. And then it starts weaving it all together and building another story. And this is where we're saying, time out. That's not what we're doing here at all. What we're actually interested in doing is just being present with the energy itself. So, you're dropping into your body, you're breathing in your belly, you're giving validity and permission to exist to this energy that is real, it is happening. The importance is that you don't give it a story to hook onto, because then your mind has to get busy unpacking the story, and it will automatically conclude that I can't control all these other people that are involved in this generation of the anger. And the next thing you know, you surrender and you just try to move away from this uncomfortable feeling. So we suppress it, and then we start a compensatory pattern of behavior that allows us to keep that anger suppressed. We get busy, we do work, we go shopping, we call somebody and talk about all the stories we've come up with about why we're feeling this energy. And the invitation in this short answer is, don't do any of that. You don't need to do any of that. Because here's what I really want you to understand. That anger is an essential ingredient. It's a part of you that just hasn't been routed into its true purpose yet, because we've never accepted it, embraced it, and inquired about it. And if we did inquire about it, we were looking for the story of its cause, of its origin. And I promise, as quantum science is showing us, there is no origin other than you. That energy was inside of you, and something happened to tap it and bring it up to your awareness. So the people that you would assign as the cause of that anger are really only the ones that opened the door to let it up and out of you. So you should be thanking them. Thanks for bringing my attention to this thing that was this unbridled energy, that if I could harness it and start to channel it and route it up through me, it would actually turn into some very productive energy in my life. And I bet you wouldn't be able to guess what that energy would be. If you connect anger to its purpose, it becomes fuel, it becomes power, it becomes passion. When you start to find that energy and learn to squeeze those anchor points and find the central channel that the energy codes are all about and route it up through your system, it actually has the power to pierce the veils that are keeping you from being wise and powerful and loving and a beautiful manifester and a creative expression in the world. So you bring that anger and you harness it. You don't try to stop it or snuff it out or deny it. And you ask it where it wants to roll, where it wants to go, where it wants to flow. And you allow it to go and do whatever it wants to do in the central channel of your own being. And what it will do is have enough power to pierce through some of the veils of other things that you've been sealing off and compressing and trying to deny. And the next thing you know, you're collaborating with all these energies that are rising inside of you, and you are free, and you are empowered, and you actually have access to all of the attributes of who and what you really are. You're a multidimensional being. You're here to learn how to route all of the energies of your being in a constructive fashion, so that ultimately all of those energies can work their way into enough power to pierce up through your own primitive brain, where you're no longer afraid of anything. And you're actually operating from high brain creative centers where you're turning all of life into heaven earth, all of life experiences into something that is revealing to you your huge, magnificent, true, loving being. So, loving is you being present with anything. You don't have to come to Hollywood Valentine's Day kind of romantic love with this anger yet, although I promise at some point it will start to feel that way. Be like, oh man, this is juicy. I like this stuff. It will be like that at some point. But first things first, get this. You're made of love. You're made of love. All you have to do is direct your attention onto some of these energies that aren't so delightful yet, and they start to be loved simply by your presence of connecting and validating them. When that happens, love begins to solve what used to look like a problem, and actually it turns into one of the best solutions you could have ever asked for, and nature is revealing it automatically. That's the divine design of our life experience as a multidimensional being here on planet Earth. So I'm hoping you're enjoying the short answer, and I'm hoping that you're joining us in the masterclass, because if you click on that button below, you will see that you can connect into the masterclass as we dive in to some lovely, wonderful, integrative conversations about life, and we're going to expound upon love and how the animal kingdom shows us unconditional love in just a few moments. So we'll see you in the masterclass. Much love to you.